Hey guys, I'm back with another candle review, and this time around it's for the 14.5 ounce 3-wick pumpkin vanilla creme candle from Bath & Body Works. So yeah, this candle was quite controversial last year because it had that disgusting lid that smelled like dirty ashtrays or like dirty nachos. It was disgusting. Like the lid was just truly disgusting. It was in the midst of all those like fish lid issues that we had last year, and this one was one of the victims of those disgusting lids. And so it either like it was just so off-putting on cold with the lid that people just didn't buy it, or it was just so strong and off-putting that you thought that it maybe tampered with the wax, even if it didn't. I don't really know. But in any case, like when I burned mine, it didn't actually like smell bad when you were burning it. It was just like the fragrance kind of rubbed off on the top of the wax. So I'm not really sure if it tampered with the fragrance itself. Maybe, maybe not. I don't really know. But in any case, the lid was still just really disgusting. So it was really off-putting for a lot of people. And it just kind of like screwed the fragrance last year, which was a shame because this has been out many years before as both pumpkin pie and pumpkin vanilla creme, and it smelled great, delicious, and awesome. So it was just so bad that it got tarnished with such a nasty smelling lid. So now we fast forward to this year's version, and the notes on this read creamy pumpkin, vanilla creme, fresh ground nutmeg, and graham cracker crust. And as I said in my haul video, I'm happy to report that the lid does not smell disgusting this year, so we're good to go there. And it kind of does smell like the old pumpkin vanilla creme that we used to know and love. On cold, I was saying it kind of smelled a little bit different, that maybe they tweaked the formula a little bit, like maybe toned down the graham cracker crust to kind of alleviate some of that like dirty, like crusty fragrance that we were getting. And when you go to burn it though, it's pretty much the same as it has been in past years, but just maybe a very subtle tweak to it, but we'll get into all of that. So this does pretty much, like I would say 95% smells the same as all the other past pumpkin pie and pumpkin vanilla cremes, and it smells delicious. It just smells really like the inside of a pumpkin pie. It's very creamy and juicy, has like a whipped feel to it. You definitely get that like vanilla cream, like the whipped cream topping on top of a pumpkin pie. You get all of that mixed with a really sweet, awesome, creamy pumpkin fragrance that really smells just like, has like a custardy, like filling type of feel to it for sure. It's not overly cinnamony, but you definitely get those traditional pumpkin spices, so you will still get your nutmeg and ginger type of fragrances in there as well. And it just really smells just like a pumpkin pie. It's like BBW's version of a pumpkin pie fragrance, and it used to be called pumpkin pie, which I think was a more apt name for this anyways, but for whatever reason, they've changed it to pumpkin vanilla creme. So yeah. The crust note, I feel like, is the slight, like 5% difference. I feel like the crust used to be a lot more prominent in the older versions, but I think maybe they slightly tweaked or toned down that really like awesome crumbly crust note to alleviate what was coming through in like the last year's version, where I think the crust note was also what's coming off as smelling like a weird like nachos, like dirty feel to it. I think there was like that crumbly fragrance like kind of gone bad mixed with the weird lid, that it was just like, I think the crusty thing just was like maybe a little bit too much, so maybe they tweaked and toned that down a little bit, because I feel like the graham cracker crust isn't quite as strong and scrumptious as it was in those very first few years. But you know, it could just be a like year to year change and not maybe a intentional change. It's a very subtle difference though. It's still pretty much pumpkin pie for all intents and purposes without nitpicking too much. So that's pretty much what this smells like, and we'll go into the performance right now. This is a fifth burn, I believe, and this one is actually performing so much better than last year's. Last year's had the core wicks on them, and it would nub out like crazy about a mid-range point. It just smelled burnt, disgusting, and nasty. It just would not like burn or pull out properly anymore, and it was just truly abysmal. But this year's version has a thick rope-like wicks rather than the core wicks, and it's doing much better. It is a little bit sootier as a result, but at least we're not getting that mid-range nub out that we did last year. So still very massive flames and wicks, making it even waxable in no time. So we're still good to go here, even in like the fifth or sixth burn or whatever this is. As for the throw, this is where it takes a little bit of a hit, and I think maybe because they toned down that graham cracker note just ever so subtly, that it's also just a little bit lighter in general than it has been in past years. I want to say like pumpkin pie in the years past used to be like a good, at least like a 7, like a medium plus. This is just very much light to medium. I would say like maybe a 4 in an open concept area, and maybe a 5 to a 6 in an enclosed bedroom. Like when you go into the bedroom, it still smells delicious and divine and awesome, and still more than adequate. So you're still getting at least a good 5 to a 6 medium, but it's not quite as strong and bam in your face as it was in years past, especially when you put in like an open concept area. So I would say, depending on the room size, obviously anywhere from like a 4 to a 6, but when I have it in my office burning, it's still scrumptious and delicious and awesome, and you just kind of like want to keep it burning because it's not overwhelming, that I just don't mind having it in the background. That I would say like just hovers in the very much medium range. But if you were expecting like the super flavor powerhouse that pumpkin pie kind of used to be. I don't think it's quite as strong, but it's not unsatisfactory by any means. So we're still good to go there. So the performance on this one. Overall, I still really enjoy this fragrance. I still tend to pick it up pretty much every year. I think it was gone, like pumpkin pie came out for a while, and then it was kind of taken off for a little bit. And I remember distinctly very much missing it. So I was happy to see it back as pumpkin vanilla and pumpkin vanilla creme. So I'm still happy to see it around. It's still like an awesome, just like creamy pumpkin pie fragrance that's very just like pleasant and not too offensive, just very just creamy and juicy and awesome. So yeah, I still pick it up every year. So I still really enjoy the fragrance. So that's pretty much it on this review. Let me know your thoughts down below, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.